Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we'll be taking a look at another Shinkansen Henkei Robo Shinkalion review. This is 06E3 Tsubasa Iron Wing. Now I know there's a new show for Shinkalion and they're redoing most of the toys. This is from the original line. This is not like a sneak peek or anything. I've actually had this for a long time. I got this as part of a sale from HLJ probably at least a year ago at this point. So I've had it in a backlog and I've been meaning to get to it, and there were a couple times I was going to do it and then something else came up and it just didn't happen. So I'm happy to finally be reviewing this. Now I know Iron Wing is part of like a duo with Flare Wing, which is I think a similar train, and they have very similar weapons. I think Flare Wing has the same weapon but in red instead of green to match his color scheme more. But I've already reviewed Flare Wing a while ago. And I know they're redoing that mold for Flare Wing, I think, next month in the animation line. And the animation molds are kind of newer and a little bit more articulation and things like that. So I do have a bunch of them on the way from HLJ. So I thought, hey, you know, I'm excited about Shinkalion again. Let's dig out Iron Wing and take a look at him while I'm waiting for the new stuff to come. So I haven't decided. Luckily for me, most of the ones in the animation were ones I never got. So I think the only one I've had to rebuy is the main character, the E5. So I'll have two of that, but I don't think I'm going to double up on anything else. So I probably won't be getting the new versions of Flare Wing and Iron Wing, but we'll wait and see. In any case, let's take a look at the packaging for this guy. So you can see here's the front of the box. Really cool, design, animation, picture. What's the word I'm looking for? Artwork. Thank you. That's the word. Of Iron Wing on the front. You can see the Plow Rail logo here in the top corner, so it is compatible with the Plow Rail system. And that's basically, this blue track here is what I'm talking about. That's Plow Rail track. So Takara Tomy makes the Plow Rail system, and then anything that's compatible with it will fit in that track. It's all the same width. So taking a look at the side, you can see the transformation. This side is, the boring info side. Pretty cool picture there on the bottom. Picture on the top. Taking a look at the back, just kind of shows how they transform. And then, like I said, he does have that kind of brother or partner in Flare Wing. So it shows them, Link Gatai. They switch the top and the bottom. And their weapons are compatible. Because I'm pretty sure they're the exact same weapon. Flare Wings is like the same weapon, but red. His is green. So you can kind of put them all together and make like a giant shuriken looking thing over here. Which is kind of neat. But yeah, so that's going to be it for the packaging. I'm going to go ahead and get them out of there, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here is the E3 Tsubasa out of the packaging. And I think, technically, I may have this. No, I have it correct. It's kind of weird, though, because like this is the part that becomes the top of the train, and that's in the back. And it kind of has to be that way because of how the connections work. But in any case, I like the color scheme. It's kind of a light gray, dark gray with that kind of really bright green stripe for accent, which I think is pretty cool. Rolls fairly well. Connection joints are decent. You have the Tsubasa logo here on the side. Pretty cool. Sorry, I'm starting to get in my own head now. I think I gotta have this disconnected wrong, right? But see, no, because I would think it would go like this, but because of the way the connections are, you can't connect it that way. Well, in any case, I'm going to disconnect it anyway because we're going to get into transformation. But so these roll fairly well even on their own. This is the kind of little passenger car in the center. Not too much going on with this. Open it up and it does have the weapons. So we'll take them out and get back to them in a minute. But that's pretty much it for this thing. Doesn't really do a whole lot other than store the weapons. The connector pieces are really loose. Just kind of a bummer. But gonna put that off to the side. So here are the two parts of the train. You can see that like mine is a little goofy, and it has to do with how it transforms, which I'll get to in a second, but they are about the same length. So first thing you're going to do, this little button right here. Now apparently on the packaging they say that these are like, this is supposed to slide up and hit this, but you can just hit it with your finger, obviously. So hit this little part right here, and that's going to release those. You can see that there's a little, these little gray pieces here, so it's spring loaded. You can see hitting that moves them back, and that's what releases it. At this point, you're then just going to push or pull these apart, and then you kind of click these up, and they kind of click in place, and then you just fold out the little feet. Now, I don't know what it is about mine, but the feet are very loose, and they don't want to stay. Like, every time I hit the ground, it kind of pushes it back into the foot, which is kind of a bummer. But you can see it's like not, I think it's because of how the train is contoured. So like it has to be flush with this part, but it looks weird because this part's up in the air. So it's just weird. This piece you just kind of push up and it'll kind of click past a little tab, and that way it'll stay up a little bit. So that is the pants of the train. At this point you take this, you pull this piece down, and that'll click into place. And then you can see there's a button right here, which you press, and that auto transforms the rest of it. So the arms and everything and the head are all spring loaded. You can see the shoulder joints kind of thin because of that. You're going to take this piece and just slide them in. Boom. Sorry, I need to raise the camera, but I'll do that in a minute. And then you just bring the arms down. Oops. And then this piece, like, you're supposed to just push it over this way and it'll kind of stay, but it's so loose and heavy that it just falls down all the time, and it's kind of a mess. The arms also don't like come all the way forward and stay, again because of the spring-loaded nature. So that's just kind of a bummer. Yeah, there's a lot of stickers on this guy. Stickers here in the knees, stickers here in the thigh, stickers on the forearms. All of this detail here in the kind of the chest and crotch is all stickers. But like I said, I'm going to move the camera real quick so we can get a better angle on this guy, and then I'll bring the weapons in. So as you can see, I mean, as a robot, he looks fine. I hate this thing just hanging here, but there's like nothing you can do about it. Articulation-wise, you do have a nice ratchet here in the shoulder. You have a bicep swivel. You kind of have that other joint underneath the in part of the shoulder. And then you kind of have elbows, but it's mostly just because of the transformation, but they still function. Nothing for wrist. That is one solid piece. And there's absolutely nothing in the legs. You just, once you splay them out to the side, they click. I mean, I guess you could say you have this little, like my toes will not stay out. It's kind of a pain. Nothing in the knee. It's all one solid piece. These just hang to the side because of how they were spring-loaded. You can't move them or anything. So I don't know. I mean, he just aesthetically, just put him on a shelf. He looks okay, but he's really got very limited articulation. I like the color scheme, though. The color scheme is my favorite part. So you bring in these weapons, and they give you these two, like these pieces can all come apart. So they give you 4 of these, and they give you 2 of these. So you can do whatever you want. Like you could do 2 down here, and then peg this one on top, and do the other 2 up here if you wanted. I guess that's kind of what the packaging suggests. But I think the other reason is because, like I said, because he has the combination with Flare Wing. You could take, Flare Wing also comes with 4 of these pieces. He's like, look like, to me they look like hands of a clock. That's what they look like to me. But Flare Wing comes with 4 of those. So you could take his 4, put 2 on here, put 2 on here, and give him 2 kind of like whirling shuriken things. I'm just going to, for the purposes of this one, take this, put that off to the side, and just put all 4 on this one, just for simplicity's sake. And I mean, it's a decent weapon. The problem is when you go to put it in his hand, because he has like no wrist articulation whatsoever, it's like impossible for him to hold it. Like he can kind of hold it like that. So it's a neat weapon, but if you can't really hold it well, it kind of defeats the purpose. The other thing you can do, and I kind of like the look of this, if you take all these off, they do have their individual pegs on the back, and they have these peg holes on the side of the arm. So you can peg those in, and then he's kind of like Wolverine. He's got like bladed, you know, arm braces. He can just kind of run around and start, you know, well, he can't run because he's got no arm or leg articulation. No, he's got no leg articulation, so he can't run, but he could coast smoothly and then stab, 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 stab. The other thing you could do is you have all these, you have peg holes up top here, peg holes on the back, peg holes on the back. So you could kind of put 2 here maybe for wings, something like that. I kind of like the look of that. Plus it spreads out the green, so it kind of gives him more green, which I kind of like. Yeah, that's kind of it for this guy. Put the box in the back. Here's the thing. If you have these already, then fine. You know, you're like me. You got them earlier on, and they're decent toys. If I had reviewed this before the animation models came out, I would say, yeah, it's kind of fun. But the other thing about Shinkalion toys is they're a little pricey. They're usually like at least $30 a piece. And to me, $30 for this guy is not that great a deal. It's really not that exciting. It's got decent upper body articulation, mostly just in the arms and shoulders. It's got nothing going on below the waist as far as articulation goes. So, excuse me, you know, it suffers. The mold suffers from that. Knowing that the animation has come along and they've redone all these molds and all the new molds have way better articulation, I'm going to review those toys when they come in and I'll do some comparisons. If you don't have this yet, don't buy this. Just wait. Because if they're going to do Iron Wing as part of the animation, they're going to update the mold and that version is going to be better. So I got this on a sale, which is why I have it. Plus, when I bought it, I had no idea that the molds were going to be redone down the line. So if you're like me and you have this already, I'm not going to dump all over it. It's not a terrible toy. I just know that a better version is on the horizon, so I can't really recommend this toy, if that makes sense. It's not a bad toy. And if you could find this one somewhere cheap, like if you found this for like $10 somewhere, go for it. You know what I mean? It's a fun toy. It's a cool little train. Like I said, it's got the decent arm articulation. I kind of like the look of the bladed weapons on the forearms. I think that's pretty cool. It's not a terrible toy. It's just that when I know a better version is possibly on the horizon, I can't recommend this one because it just doesn't make sense to buy this one if they're just about to come out with a better one. So, again, it's fine, but I would wait. Now, to be fair, Iron Wing has not been confirmed yet in the new animation molds, but I would assume if they're going to do Flare Wing, it would be a quick hop and a step to get to Iron Wing because I believe it's the same mold, and all they do is like give it a new head and change the color scheme. So I can't imagine they do one and not the other, and Flare Wing's already been confirmed. So, like I said, this toy's fine, but wait and find out if they're going to make the better version of him, and if they do make the better version of him, get the better version of him, because while, you know, he's not terrible, he's certainly not perfect, and those other ones are pretty darn good. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like and share the video, subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you guys have enjoyed this look at 06E3 Tsubasa Iron Wing from Shinkansen Henkei Robo Shinkalion. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.